All right, what's up everyone? My name is Matt and welcome back to another walkthrough video. In this walkthrough video, I'm going to be showing you a Halloween lesson designed for grades 2 and 3. I know Halloween is a very popular topic for ESL teachers, so I thought it was prudent for me to create my own lesson for Halloween and put it out there for all of you guys to see. This lesson is designed to be fun and also to get the kids to speak English. If you guys are interested in teaching this lesson yourself, don't forget there'll be a link in the video description below. Just click that link and you can download this PowerPoint, or you can go to my Taobao store and purchase it there. As always, if you guys like me putting out videos like this, don't forget to smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and leave a comment below if you have any questions. Okay, let's get into the walkthrough. All right, let's have a look at this PowerPoint. Ooh. Yes, I have added some audio, some sound to this lesson to try to get the atmosphere of Halloween for these kids. So before the class begins, I'll just be having this playing, as they're getting ready and sitting down. And yeah, I'll turn it down so that I can actually talk. And what I've been doing in class for the first few weeks, I just want to report back since it's week 4 now, or week 5 is next week. What I've been doing is before class begins, I stand there like this. And let's say for the first week, if 1 or 2 students noticed and they sat down and were looking at me, what I did is I would be like giving them a thumbs up or just looking at them. And then when class actually began, and I had everyone seated and watching me, I would have those students, let's say it was like 2 students, stand up and praise them and tell the whole class, they were sitting nicely and very, very quiet. Good job, and give extra points to the teams of which those students were on, okay? And I would make it really clear, have them stand up, give them high fives or elbow bumps or whatever, and then give them extra points. And in the second week, I would do the same thing. I stood there and was looking around, and I had more students doing it. Instead of it just being 2, it was like 10 that were doing it, okay? And the same thing, I had those 10 students stand up, and I gave their team extra points, praised them, elbow bumps, and then they sat down and we started class. The next week, I'm telling you, like 90% of the kids were doing the same thing, okay? There was just a few who were not, okay? And you can't get them all to do it really quickly. Eventually, like I think now, even now, like in the 4th week, I still had there's like 1 or 2 or 3 boys still, running around before class begins, and they're not sitting down doing exactly what I want. But as long as I have most of the students calm down and everything, I think it's a win. Okay, so I'm going to go through the beginning of this lesson because I changed all the slides and made them all Halloween themed. So I just want to give you guys a quick look at it. So as always, I always say who was ready and polite before class. And yeah, that's the moment when I'm going to call out those students who I just explained were good, and I'm going to praise them. Who was rude before class? I'll call out those few boys. I'm not probably going to take points unless they're being really, really rude, but I will say he was rude, and if I have the feeling that I should take points in that moment, then I will. Otherwise, I'll just give them a stern look and move on. Okay, then I say, nice to see you again. And they say, nice to see you again too. In the beginning of my class, right before I praise those students, I say, hello, and they say hello. And then I say, good morning or good afternoon. They repeat it back. And then I praise those students, okay? And hopefully these 2 slides in the middle, I can go through them very quickly. So it's like, who was ready and played before class? Good, And then who was rude before class? Same thing. And then I can go right into nice to see you again. Nice to see you again too. So it flows nicely. It's like, hello. Like hopefully by week 5, it's like this. In the beginning, there's some, like I said, you have to be praising those students and working that out. But eventually it's really smooth. It's just hello, good morning. Who was ready and played before class? Who was rude before class? And then immediately to the 4th slide, nice to see you again. Nice to see you again too. It will take like a month for them to get used to this. But really, I would, for the first few weeks, especially week 2 and week 3, I spent some time with some of the classes, making sure that they all understood that when the bell rings, they should be seated, And so some classes, it works faster than others. Some classes have a few stragglers. You got to, with the rude slide, you really have to call them out and make them stand up and tell them to be quiet, sit down, especially for grade 2. Okay, classroom rules. Now, since I'm in week 4, they already know the routine. I say, rule number 1 is, and they say, sit nicely. Rule number 2 is, be quiet. Rule number 3 is, clear your desk. Rule number 4 is, eyes on teacher Matt. Rule number 5 is, listen to teacher Matt. And rule number 6 is, raise your hand, okay? And they all know it. It's like clockwork. I don't really have to say the rules again. You know, I just say rule number 1 is, and they're all saying it, okay? Which is what I want. Okay, so I have a slide here for your warm-up. If you want to do a warm-up with your class, you can add it in here. In my class, I'm probably not going to do one more than just the days of the week dance, just because I don't have as much time. So I will just do the days of the week in my class. I'll do the dance. It's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The kids really like it. And by now, I don't have them actually stand up. I just have them do it like in a seated position, and they still like it. You can check out any of my grade 2 lessons on my channel. You can see how I do the dance and how they react to it. It's really a great dance. Just go check out any of my videos for grade 2. Okay, so then I ask, what day of the week is it? And someone will raise their hand and tell me, you know, today is Monday or whatever day of the week it is. And I go, today is Monday. And the whole class repeats it back to me, okay? And then I'll go into a review. Generally, my review includes the last 2 weeks of the lesson. Last 2 weeks, of the semester. But in this class, probably in my class, again, because I don't have much time, I'm not going to spend a lot of time in this Halloween lesson reviewing, but I left it here for you guys if you do want to add in your own review. And then I'll say, let's learn. Okay, so I just want to say really fast, in China, you know, they don't celebrate Halloween, but, you know, children will probably learn about it depending on their school. They'll probably learn about it. They're aware of what it is in Chinese because in malls and different places or in different movies they have seen, they'll understand the concept of it. But really, this might be the first time they're hearing it in English and learning about it in English. Okay, so I want to expose them to what the English words are. You know, especially important things like trick-or-treating and candy and things like this. Okay. So that's what the first part of the lesson is going to be. It's just based on trick-or-treating. And throughout the lesson, they'll be saying trick-or-treat, like, you know, so they'll be using it throughout the lesson. So the first thing I want to do is just make them understand what is trick-or-treating, okay? What is this lesson about, you know? And for children, you know, trick-or-treating is, you know, you wear a costume and you get candy. Pretty basic, right? So first thing I want to do is show them the Chinese, like Halloween in Chinese, and see if any of the kids know it. Okay, so I'll try to elicit it from the class, and then one student will probably raise their hand for grade 2. Like 1 or 2 students are going to know what it is. They'll tell you, and you say Halloween, and I count it out with the syllables. That way they can see, you know, Halloween, that's 3 syllables. Halloween, Halloween, and they'll chant it back to me. Okay, and then I say, on Halloween, children go trick-or-treating. What's trick-or-treating? Now, for grade 3, I think you'll get some pretty good answers for this. Students who are trying to make sentences and stuff like that. For grade 2, in my school, I would say there's maybe 2 students in each class who can try to formulate like an actual sentence for this, which is great. Most of the students might just say like candy or trick-or-treat. They might know that already, or they might say like a monster, like a witch or a ghost or something like that. They might say that. That's fine. You just want it to be like interactive. So you're asking them, what's trick-or-treating, and seeing what they give you. Okay. And then of course you're going to explain what it is. So it's okay. So I say trick-or-treating, step 1. And I say, put on a costume. Put on a costume. I'll have them repeat it back to me. They can see the Chinese here. It's pretty obvious what it is. You know, they're obvious with the Chinese as well. And they can see these students are wearing costumes. And I'll say, he is wearing a costume. He is wearing a costume. She is wearing a costume. He is wearing a costume. Okay, so put on a costume. And I'll say, let's learn about some Halloween costumes. Who are you? Okay, so they've learned who are you in the previous weeks. You know, I think it's week 2 or 3. I taught who are you. So they all know who are you. They understand what it is. I go, who are you? And I'll have them raise their hand, and they'll look at him. So I'll like point at the screen when I say it, who are you? And we'll be asking this student on the screen, and students will raise their hand, and they might say, shark, shark, shark. And I say, yes, I'm a shark. Who are you? And then they'll raise their hand. Some of them might know the word pumpkin, maybe not. If they don't know, you just say, I'm a pumpkin. This one they definitely know. Everyone points, says, who are you? And he says, I'm a bee. And who are you? And I'm a ghost. So again, I look at the screen and I point at him and say, who are you? And the class should also repeat it with me. Who are you? We point at the student He says, I'm a shark. They all say, I'm a shark. And then, who are you? Everyone says, who are you? Again, for each one of them. It's kind of a review of what they learned the previous weeks. Then I say, trick or treating. Step 2, knock on front doors. Knock on front doors. And you can knock on the door in the class or knock on the blackboard. The students are going to knock as well. It's going to get really loud, I promise. If you knock on anything, they'll all be knocking, okay? That's fine. You can just say like, knock, knock, and they'll knock, 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 knock. Make sure they're saying knock, knock as they knock, knock. Or you tell them, don't actually knock, just go like this. Don't touch, knock, 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 knock. And they all say knock, knock. You want them to hear this word knock, so that's fine. But like I said, if you knock on anything, they will be knocking on their desks, and it'll get really loud if you don't do it in a controlled way. So if you know you can control your students and stop them from just becoming super loud, or you know you can calm them down after a few seconds, if you do that, it's fine. Just be prepared that if you start knocking on stuff, they're going to knock on it too. Trick or treating. Step 3, get candy and put it in your bag. Put it in your bag. Now you can bring a bag in. You can bring like a Halloween bag in and show like the candy. Put the candy in your bag and have candy. And you can give them candy, but I suggest you wait until the end of class to give them candy, either during the last game or just at the end of class. You walk over to each student and say, they have to say trick or treat, and then you say, and then you give them candy or whatever you want to do. So I recommend because if you give them candy during class, it'll create other issues, like students trying to eat the candy, even if you told them not to, fiddling with the candy, playing with the candy, losing the candy, then asking for more candy, being jealous of each other if someone got candy and they didn't get candy, stealing the candy from each other, and a whole bunch of problems could just pop up. So I recommend wait until like the last part of the class or the end of class and then give them candy. Otherwise, I think it's going to cause problems in my experience. And then step 4, eat your candy. So especially when you teach them step 4 to eat your candy, they're definitely going to be trying to eat the candy during class, even if you explicitly told them not to. Okay, there's going to be students trying to eat the candy, then students tattletaling on them. It's just going to waste time, I promise. Okay, so I avoid giving candy during class, but every teacher has their own, whatever. Every teacher is different. Some teachers like to give candy, but make sure you ask their Chinese teachers or their homeroom teacher or the principal or your liaison or whoever you have to ask if you can give them candy. Make sure you ask. Otherwise, you might have some unhappy parents or teachers or whatever. So just ask. They'll probably say yes. Just ask. I recommend asking. Okay, so I know that a lot of teachers like to teach a song, and I think it's a great way to, have a song in your lesson is a great way to teach. So I have a song here from the Super Simple Songs. It's Knock Knock, Trick or Treat. It's a great song. I'm saying optional song here because it's quite long. It's a 5-minute song, so I'm definitely not going to show the whole song in my class. What I'll probably do is take the song and edit it into like 1 minute, and then put that in the class and just have them watch 1 minute of it. It's just too long, okay? But it's a great song. If you have time after class or before another class or whatever, you want to put it on, let them see it. That's great. I left the link here for you. So if you do want to use that, definitely check that out. It's really good. Okay, so teaching part 2. Let's learn some Halloween costumes, okay? Costume number 1, okay? So I will try to elicit the answer from the students, see if they know it. I'm going to say that none of the grade 2 students know it. In my experience, they all say wolf, okay? Wolf. And that's pretty close, okay? Or they'll say wolf man, which is that's the way the Chinese is, wolf man. So, but I say, no, it's werewolf, werewolf. And I have an action, my werewolf, werewolf, werewolf. And the whole class is doing the action and saying the word werewolf, werewolf. You can download I'll send you the flashcards if you purchase this lesson. Put the flashcards on the board for each one so they can see it and then move on to the next one. Okay? Raise your hand. It's witch, and mine for witch is either witch like this with the hat, or you can you can mime having the broomstick, So it's either witch or something like that. Or if you want your witch to have a wand, you could do the wand. But get them to say it. Put the flashcard on the board. Next one. See if they know it. If not, you say zombie, zombie. And your zombie action, I think my zombie action last year was kind of like zombie, 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 or something like this. And then make them do the action. And as I'm teaching the second, third word, I'll suddenly do like the first one and see who says werewolf first. If a student who says it first or really quickly or realizes what I want, I give their team a point to encourage them. Okay, the teacher is going to be doing the other previously learned vocabulary words randomly. I need to be ready to say them again. So I'll be like, first student to say which, I give them a point. Okay. And last one is what is it? It's a vampire, a vampire. So vampire, I point at the teeth, vampire, vampire, vampire. And they all point at their teeth and say vampire. Put the flashcard on the board. And then I say, let's say the words again. So I will point at each one, witch, werewolf, vampire, zombie. And I'll be doing the actions, having them say the word. I'll say the word, have them do the action. I'll do this for like probably 30 seconds just to get them to say the words a few times. Then one more time I say, push it. They say witch, 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 werewolf, 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 vampire, 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 and zombie, zombie, zombie. Okay? Then I'll again just be like, okay, and have them say the vocabulary back to me. Okay? Okay, so the next game is the slow reveal game, and I will just have an animation here so they can see how it works, and the students will be shouting out the answer probably. They're going to shout out werewolf, which is what I want. And so I say, yes, werewolf. Who is this? And they say, it's a werewolf, or he's a werewolf. And then we begin. So the way it works is whichever student says it first, they get a point for their team. Okay, you can do this a few different ways. You could bring students to the front, have them face just the classroom, and then play this game, and whoever does the action, who is seated, who does the action, and then the students, whoever says it first, that they can get a point. You can do it that way. There's a bunch of ways you actually play this game, but I'm just going to do it the most basic way in my class, just to make sure they can remember the words. So pretty much they say, who is this? And then it slowly reveals the costume or the monster, and then whoever says zombie first can get a point for their team. Then I say, what's the action? Okay, they say zombie, zombie, and then the zombie pops up, okay? And rinse and repeat for each one. Who is this? Slowly reveals. First student to say werewolf gets a point. Next one, everyone says, who is this? And then slowly reveals and rinse and repeat. Very simple, okay? Okay, let's move on to the next game. The next game is a TPR action game. This game is super fun. If you've seen any of my videos before, you know that I like to play this game, especially to review new vocabulary. It's really a great way. So I have two ways set up here. The first way is with the pictures, and the second way is just with the words. So first, bring up one student from each team, have them face the class who can see the actual PowerPoint, and I say, everyone, be quiet, do the actions, don't talk, okay? And over the weeks, I've been training them, to not talk and just do the actions. If people are making noises or doing the actions, or saying the words, obviously I take points from their team, and now they're pretty well trained. They know they're just doing the action. They don't make any sound, okay? So what I do is the 4 students from the front, they can't see the board. I push this. It's a witch, so the seated students go like this, and the 4 students in the front, or however many teams you have, the first student to say witch gets a point, okay? And rinse and repeat. Then the students in front say zombie, okay, you get a point, okay? And rinse and repeat for each one. Now, I also have it set up so that you could do it with the words themselves, so the students actually have to be able to read it. So the seated students actually have to be able to read the words and know what it is. When you push it, they have to realize that's witch and be, okay? Then the students in the front have to say witch. So it's kind of like a reading game. They have to be able to read the words and know what the word is and not just see the picture and know. So it's up to you. I wouldn't do both of these. I'm including both of them in this PowerPoint. You can choose one and delete the other slide. Whatever you think is best for your class. Yep, that's how that game works. Let's move on to the next game. Okay, so the next part is a guessing game, but I'm actually teaching them the next part of the lesson, but I think it's more effective to be teaching at the same time that they feel like it's some sort of game, okay? So I just think they'll remember it more and they'll be paying more attention to what you're doing if they think it's a game, okay? So here's how it works. we're going to be teaching the main chant of the lesson here. So it's trick or treat, who are you? Trick or treat, who are you? Okay, and have them do the actions and repeat this chant with you. Then you say, I drink blood, and you can do action. I drink blood, or whatever action you want for blood, okay? And when blood pops up, they'll see the Chinese translations. You don't have to spend time explaining what blood is. They'll see the translation there. They understand what it is, okay? So, I drink blood, and whatever it is. So again, trick or treat, who are you? I drink blood. I drink blood. Who am I? Who am I? Before you reveal the first one or before you take their answers, do it again. So trick or treat, who are you? Trick or treat, who are you? I drink blood. I drink blood. Who am I? Okay? And then you'll call in one student from each team. They'll tell you what they think it is. And you can put on the board what they said, and then you reveal the answer. I'm a vampire. Good job. Give points to whichever team. Okay? And then go on to the next one. Same drill. Trick or treat, who are you? Trick or treat, who are you? I eat brains. I eat brains. Who am I? Okay? And again, call one student from each team. Or you can just say, if you want, you can just say, tell me your answer, and they'll, you can go like this, and they'll say, zombie, okay? It depends how you want to do it. I probably will make it as an actual game and have each team stand up, because they'll be cheering if they're right, and they'll be thinking more because when you have them all stand up and they give you the answer, the whole class will be, no, it's a werewolf, it's a witch, it's not okay, it's not a zombie, oh, it's a zombie, okay, and they'll remember it more if they were wrong, okay? If they thought it was like a werewolf, they'll remember it better if they were wrong and then they see it was a zombie. And if they were right, they'll also remember it better because they'll be very proud. I knew it was a zombie. I already knew. Yes, I already knew. Okay, same drill for the next one. Trick or treat, who are you? Trick or treat, who are you? And I run fast. Okay, they see the run there. I run fast. Who am I? Who am I? Again, one student from each team, and they guess, put it on the board, reveal the answer, and you can give them points if they're right. Okay, I'm a werewolf. Next one. Trick or treat, who are you? Trick or treat, who are you? Right? I can fly. So they know can now because I taught it last week, and you should have taught it as well in grade 2 by this point, I believe. So it's I can fly. I can fly. Okay, double. And then who am I? Okay, and then by this point they'll know there's only one left. So you'll say, who is it? Okay, I'm a witch. Okay, so there you go. And that's how I'm basically going to be teaching this as a chant. Make it fun. Give them points. They're learning, but they also think it's a game. Okay, so the next part, you want to quickly review what they just learned. Just have them say it again. So here, same thing. Trick or treat, who are you? And then I run fast. I run fast. Who am I? Who am I? Students raise their hands, okay? And they tell you what it is. They should say, I'm a vampire. I'm a werewolf, sorry. I'm a werewolf. I'm a werewolf, okay? And just, this will get them to say it again. Okay, trick or treat, who are you? Trick or treat, who are you? I can fly, who am I? Who am I? And another thing you can do here is you can have one student or an entire team stand up and the whole class says trick or treat, who are you? And then they say, that whole team or that group says, I can fly, who am I? Who am I? And then, call another student or another team to say the answer, right? I'm a witch. I'm a witch. Okay, so there's a few ways you could do it. It's just up to you. You could also play this section as a similar game that to what you just played. Just do it again, and because you really want them to remember, each one of these. Okay, so again, trick or treat, who are you? Trick or treat, who are you? And then you can show the whole thing first and then call on the team. And they say, you know, I eat brains, who am I? And then call on the student to give you the answer. I'm a zombie, okay? There's other ways you could do this. You could play this with the flashcards on the board, and the students have to, you know, as you chant, they have to run over and put their hand on the flashcard. You know, that's another way that some teachers like to do it, have the flashcards on the board. And like I said, have them put their hand on the one they think it is. You could do something similar to that with the previous section, you know, with the guessing game. Have some students who can just walk up and put their hand on it if that's when they think. I just like to control things a little bit more, you know, so they're all seated and I'm writing what they think it is on the board. You can try different ways with your students and see how it works. Some classes you might be able to do that with no problem. In some classes you'll have, you know, kids running around. So you just have to learn how to manage your own class and how, you know, how they're going to react to everything. All right, next, last one, trick or treat, who are you? Same drill. You can do it like I said, I would experiment and try different ways. I'm going to teach this lesson 4 times, right? I have 4 grade 2 classes, so I will try it a few different ways with each class. With the first class, I'll try it one way. If I think it didn't go perfectly, I'll try it a different way with the next class and really try to hone it. You know, as teachers, we're always learning and you're never going to get it perfect. So just experiment with different things and learn your own style. Okay, so the next activity is the ghost game. And this game is very similar to the monkey game, which you might have seen if you've seen my other videos. It's just a Halloween themed version. Let me turn off the audio here. It's just a Halloween themed version of this, okay? And yeah, it works exactly the same. If you haven't played the monkey game before, I'm gonna quickly explain how to play this one. It's the exact same. So choose one student from each team and have them stand up. The team which is on the left of the classroom, they will be the pumpkin team or the jack-o'-lantern team. The second team will be the bat team. The third team will be the black cat team, and the fourth team will be the bones team. Okay, so choose one student from each team, and then they need to choose a costume they want to be. Okay, what do they want to be? What costume do they want? So the whole class will say, trick or treat, who are you? Trick or treat, who are you? And that student will choose one and then say the classroom language for that one. So let's say they choose, the first team chooses the vampire, okay? They will say, I'm a vampire, I drink blood, okay? And then you click the red pentagon because the red pentagon is for the vampire. The vampire is outlined in red, that corresponds to the red, okay? The witch is outlined in orange, there's an orange pentagon for her. The zombie is purple, again, and the werewolf is this yellowish, orangish color. That's this one, okay? So you click it. Let me turn the audio back on, and
I'm a vampire. I drink blood.
I've programmed in them to actually say the classroom language so the class can hear it again. And yes, that is my voice, okay? So then you go to the next team, and they say, I'm a werewolf. I run fast.
I'm a werewolf. I run fast.
Now, very important, the students can choose the same thing as their teammates or their classmates. You don't want it to be that whatever team goes first gets the first choice, and then other teams can't choose that. So they can all choose the same one. If this student on the next team also wants the werewolf, that's fine. They just have to say the classroom language. I'm a werewolf. I run fast. That's fine.
I'm a werewolf. I run fast.
And then the final team says, no, I'm a witch. I can fly.
I'm a witch. I can fly.
And then we send the ghosts, okay? If a ghost comes to where they are, they will lose, okay? So I say, send the ghosts, and the whole class will say it.
Ooh, ghost. I'm a ghost. I'm a ghost. Whoa, ghost. I'm a happy ghost. I'm a happy ghost.
Okay, so the team which chose the vampire and the werewolf win, okay, and get 5 points each, okay, and then rinse and repeat. And I've programmed it so the ghosts go to different costumes, different monsters each round, okay. So again, everyone says, trick or treat, who are you? Trick or treat, who are you? Okay, then we can start on this side this time. This student says, I'm a zombie, I eat brains. This team says, no, I'm a vampire. I drink blood. And if you want, you can have their whole team say it as well. So the student on that team says, I'm a vampire, I drink blood, and then their whole team says it as well.
I'm a vampire. I drink blood.
I know from my experience that if I have this sort of like interesting audio, it'll like stick in the kids' brains faster, and like they'll probably be like mimicking the voice if they think it's funny, you know, and that'll help them remember the classroom language. Then the next team says,
I'm a witch. I can fly.
and this is programmed that if you make a mistake and they didn't want the witch, they said, no, I want the zombie. You can just click this
I'm a zombie.
and it'll move it over.
I eat
Or
brains. I'm a werewolf.
it'll
I run
move it
fast.
automatically. You don't have to worry
I'm a
about it.
witch.
And then the last team says, no, I'm a vampire too. I'm a vampire. I drink blood.
I'm a vampire. I drink blood.
And then send the ghosts.
Ooh, ghost, ghost. I'm a ghost. I'm a ghost, ghost, ghost. Whoa, 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 ghost. I'm a happy ghost. I'm a happy ghost.
Okay, so in this case, the jack-o'-lantern and the black cat team win and give them 5 points each and move on. So I have a few more rounds of this. The ghosts go to different places each time. And yeah, that's the ghost game. Okay, so the last game of the class is called Choose a Costume. And yeah, what they're going to do is be able to choose a costume, say the classroom language, and you know, if they find a bomb, they're going to lose 2 points. If they find the Grim Reaper, he's going to steal 2 points, or they might find the die and they get to roll the die and get points. So definitely you need to have a die if you're going to do this game. So if you're an English teacher in a public school or a training center, I suggest you have a die anyway. But if you don't, make sure to go and buy one. So you can just show them this really quick. Like, if you find the bomb, you lose 2 points. Lose 2 points. If you find the Grim, you can say if you find him, he steals 2 points. Or if you find the die, you can roll the die. Okay, they'll learn from seeing how this works. You know, so they're gonna see here like the bomb. You know, and you can put on the board. Like you can have it. If you really don't think they're gonna understand, you can have like points on the board, and you can show lose 2 points means this. Steal 2 points. You can show the points going to another team, and then roll the die. And when they steal 2 points, they can choose which team they steal from. You just wait until it happens during the game to show them what it means exactly. That's probably the best way for them to understand how this works. So it's really basic. Are you ready? They say, yes, I am. So here it's like this. Trick or treat, who are you? Trick or treat, who are you? And then you can choose one student from each team, or you can choose one student from each team first. On this slide, you can choose one student from each team and then do the trick or treat, who are you? And they need to choose. Okay, so again, make sure you write what they've chosen on the board so you don't forget. And so team 1, they can choose what they want, and they should say the classroom language. So team 1 says, I'm a vampire, I drink blood. For team 1, write V or vampire next to their team. Team 2 chooses the witch. Team 3 chooses the zombie, and team 4 chooses the vampire as well. Okay. Obviously, they can all choose the same one again. And then go through each one by one, revealing what it is. So, okay, whichever team chose the witch, you click on it. Oh, it's the bomb. Okay, this team loses 2 points. The zombie, oh, wow, okay, this team can roll the die, get points. And the last team, whatever teams chose this, they steal points. So when this happens, you tell them, which team do you want to steal from? Which team do you want to steal from? Team 2 or team 3 or team 1 or whatever it is. And they choose whichever team, and then they steal the points from that team, okay? And rinse and repeat. Choose more students, trick or treat, who are you? And then again, same thing happens. They say what they want, and then you reveal the consequences, okay, or whatever they chose. And then for the third round, I've hidden some of the words, so now they have to remember. Okay, you know, you can do this if you want. You can remove the words from the first 2 rounds as well if you want to make it harder. It's up to you totally. The same thing. They choose the students, whatever. They choose which one they want, and click and reveal what it is. Let them roll the die, take the points, steal the points, ask which team they want to steal from, and yeah. Trick or treat, who are you? Same thing again. Okay, so it's totally up to you how many rounds you want to play with this. Maybe you just want to do 2 rounds. Maybe you're running out of time. Maybe you just want to do the rounds that don't have some of the words there to really test their ability to remember some of it. That's totally up to you. I left them both. That way you have the choice. If you wanted for it to be easy, it's there for you. If you want it to be a little bit harder at the end, you can use these slides. And it's real easy to change where the things are. Obviously, just move these out of the way and put the bomb or the die or the Grim Reaper to different positions. And yeah, it's really, really simple. So I think it's a good way to end the class. The ghost game will be very exciting. This game may be a little bit, it'll be exciting, but the ghost game will get them really amped, I think, because the ghosts come out and everything. This game will be exciting. Actually, I take that back. Maybe this game will be more exciting. It's hard to say which one they'll like the best. Okay, and that's the final game. Okay, so at the end of class, if you have extra time and you want to have them draw, some teachers I know teach double classes or their class is 90 minutes or something like this. If that's the case, a great way to end the class is to have them do a little drawing and coloring and writing a little bit. It'll be exciting and they'll really like it. So make sure that the students make sure you bring paper if the school doesn't provide it. Make sure to tell the teachers prior to doing this activity to make sure the kids have the crayons or colored pencils or whatever they need, because some students, they have to bring it in from home. In one of my schools that I worked at, they had, everyone always had them. So it wasn't really an issue. I would just remind the teachers in case. But you don't want to be in a situation where you prepare to do a drawing activity and no one has colored pencils or crayons or something, and it's just avoid that totally. Okay, so here's how it works. I have a little animation here so they can see. They're going to choose a monster. They can draw it, and they can write, I'm a werewolf, I run fast, or they can write whatever else they want. They can use these. Vampire can fly. You can help them if they have questions during class. You can write on the board what each one should be, to help them out. And yeah, they can write other things too. They don't have to be a werewolf. They don't have to be a zombie or a vampire or witch, whatever. They can be whatever they want. They can write it down. They can draw it, and you can help them, spell it. If you have walk around the room and give help to them or whatever. If you have an assistant in class with you, she can also help you, or he can also help you. So yeah, I just wanted to have that in there just in case some teachers, they want to do some sort of drawing activity at the end. Make sure to count the score and award a star. And yeah, that's the end of the lesson. You need to say goodbye to the students. And yeah, thank you. All right, that's the end of the walkthrough video. I really hope you found that useful. Don't forget, if you'd like to download that PowerPoint and teach yourself, there's a link in the video description below, or you can go to my Taobao store and find it there. As always, please smash that like button. It really helped me out. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and leave a comment below if you have any questions. Happy Halloween, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.